Hi everyone, welcome back to Smarta.
With Marta. Today we're here to do a math lesson that I call subtract tens, and it's one of the steps into doing two-digit subtraction.
Perfect.
So we're going to start with shout-outs.
Sounds good.
I'm going to start with Flora. Flora writes to me almost every day, and she doesn't send me emails. She writes on paper, and her mom or dad takes a photo of it and sends it to me, and I write back to Flora every day. And I feel like I am learning a lot about Flora.
They're teaching us a lot, aren't they?
Yeah, and also I'm telling her some things about me that maybe I wouldn't normally share because we're finding some things we have in common.
I'm glad you brought that up, guys. I'm finding the exact same thing. The kids that are writing me, they're learning a lot more about me, and I'm learning a lot more about them because they're writing back and forth to each other in those emails. So that's great.
For instance, Flora and I both play the piano. So Flora told me the song she was playing on the piano, and I looked it up, and then I found a YouTube video of someone playing my favorite song to play on the piano.
Nice.
And I sent it to her so she could see my favorite song.
Very good. My shout out today is for Avery. Avery sent me some pictures of her math that she did, and I was so impressed because Avery did number line,
Wow,
expanded form, and then she challenged herself. And I was expecting, when I scrolled down the pictures, some more expanded form questions that were maybe a little bit harder, or some number lines, so she really knew it. Nope. What she did is she challenged herself with multiplication. That's times.
Avery.
And she had 3 times 10 and all these different multiplication facts. I think Avery's maybe inherited some accounting strategies from her dad.
Good job, Avery.
Way to go, Avery. Keep the good work on math.
It's really great when you challenge yourself. When you find that the math that you're doing is easy, just push yourself a little bit farther and see what you can do.
I love it.
Yeah, great job. All right, on to jokes. These jokes are from me. I'm still
Mrs. Martin.
desperately waiting for you to send your jokes. So if you think these jokes are bad, you need to send better ones. All right. Why was the math book sad?
Why was the math book sad?
Because it had too many problems.
I actually like that one a lot, Mrs. Marta.
I know, I'm funny, right?
Yeah, you're hilarious.
Hilarious.
That's what I hear. Mrs. Marta's second joke is, what did the 0 say to the 8?
Oh, gosh, Mr. Marta, I don't know, even though I gave you this joke.
Nice belt.
Oh, I get it. And then it's got like it's like this. And then like this. All right, we are ready for the lesson. You can meet us over at the easel.
See you there next. Hi, boys and girls. Welcome back. Subtraction. Now, I know that most of you know that fancy little sign means subtraction, but just in case a few of you are wondering, whenever you see that dash in subtraction, it means minus or take away. And I also know that many of you already have some strategies for subtraction. For example, one of the first ones you likely learned in your life was your fingers, because you have them. So for 7 minus 2, for example, you have 7, and you take away the 2, and it gives you your answer of 5. Now, there's an advantage to the finger strategy, but also some disadvantages. The advantage is you've always got your fingers with you. The disadvantage, I can think of 2, and I wrote them down there. First off is the amount of fingers you have, you're limited to 10. So as soon as you get into higher or greater numbers, the fingers don't work. Secondly, depending on what numbers you're using, when you have to manipulate your fingers and count, it can be kind of slow. So yeah, it's a great strategy to start with, but there's better strategies as you move along. So some of you might be using already the number line. I've seen some of you use that when we do our basic facts testing when you were first starting off. You would have your ruler out and you would count backwards on the number line. And it's a great strategy as well. So the advantage is the number line is easy to follow because it counts up or down both directions. So the number line is a simple one to understand. So for example, if we had 7 minus 2, I drew a number line here from 0 to 10. We start at 7, and we're going to take away 2. 1, 2. We end up in 5, so we know the answer is 7 minus 2 equals 5. If I jump down to this question down here, I drew another number line because I wanted to illustrate that you don't have to draw a number line from 0 all the way to whatever number you work on. I know the question's 23, so I drew my number line. I'm putting 23 at the end because I know I'm going to count backwards, and I just wrote 10 all the way counting backwards. So number line, 23 minus 7. Again, we start on 23, we minus 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We end up on 16. So 16 is the answer. 23 minus 7 is 16. So like I said, the advantage is easy counting forwards and backwards using number line. Whether you're doing addition or subtraction, number line is a great tool. Disadvantage, you don't always have a ruler with you. And if you draw out the number line, it can be slow and slow you down. So the good news is this. Yes, fingers are a good strategy. Number line's a good strategy. They can be slow, and they don't always work the best in a certain situation. But the good news is that there are many tips, tricks, and strategies that make subtraction easier and faster. And Mrs. Marta is coming on next using a strategy with this. Here she comes.
Okay, so Mr. Marta gave you a few tips and strategies, but we're going to talk about the one that I like to use the most. And the one I like to use the most is with the 10 frames. And we've used these a lot. So you pretty much have it in your head. You know that there's 5 on each side because your brain can remember 5 things. You don't have to count them. So you know if you have 2 5s, that's 10. Sometimes it's not full. Sometimes you see it like this. And in your head right away, you probably said that's a 9. And you know that because one of them is not colored in and one less than 10 is 9. Or sometimes you might see this one. And then your brain goes, that's a 4. But what it did really fast, you didn't think about it, is it went, oh, I know that this much is 5 and 1 less is 4.
That 5 is that magic number.
That's right. Or maybe you'll see this card. Think about what it is. Show me on your fingers. Never mind, call it out. We're not at school. This is a 7. I know that because I know this is 5 and 2 more. Finish with an easy. What did your brain tell you that is? 5. Now, I use these for subtracting sometimes. So let's imagine the question was 9 take away 7. So if I had 9 take away 7, I would start with 9 in my brain and I would want to take away 7. And I know 7 is a whole row and 2 more. And if I took those away, I knew there would be 2 left. Let's say I wanted to do 5, take away 3. In my brain, I imagine those 3 are gone and 2 are left. The same thing kind of works if we're going by tens, and that's what we're working on today. We're working on subtracting 10 because to do big number subtraction, you need to be able to subtract tens.
Definitely.
So we're going to start just by going through the questions, and Mr. Marta is here to help me because I don't have enough hands to hold all the cards. When we're at school, I have magnets on the back, and I stick them to the whiteboard like this. Guess what? Not magnetic.
But I have magnetic personality.
He is very magnetic, therefore he is going to be super helpful.
Before we start, Mrs. Marta, when you want your holder to hold the cards, do you want them hold horizontal or vertical?
Probably vertical.
Okay, sounds good.
So we're starting with 50. So I want you into your head to think, how many of those am I going to need to make 50 if they're tens? Mr. Marta's working it out right now.
Tell me when you like me to hold it up, Mrs. Marta.
Hold it up, Mr. Marta. Let's see how many you have. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tens. 5 tens. You know this. You've got this. So now I'm imagining my question is 50 minus 20, or 5 tens minus 2 tens. So when I'm taking something away, that's what I'm actually doing. I'm taking it away. So I had 5 tens. I'm taking away 2 tens, and I'm left with 3 tens. Now, how do I write 3 tens?
How do you write 3 tens, Mrs. Marta?
With a pencil. No. Okay.
That's a felt.
It's a felt. I don't even know what I'm writing with. So if I want to write 3 tens, I just write it like that. 3 tens is 30. All right, let's look at the next one, Mr. Marta. We're starting with 4 tens. The question asks us to take away 3 tens. So 40, take away 30. 10, 20, 30. What am I left with? I'm left with 1 10, which is? Mr. Marta, do you know?
Which is 110?
1 10 is?
A 10.
10. 1 10 is 10. All right, the next question is asking me to start with 60. Think about how many tens that is. 6 tens. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tens, and it asked me to take away 10. So I'm going to take away 1 10. Taking it away. How many I left with? 5 tens. Now, I want you to look at this. Imagine those zeros were not there. It's like I'm saying 5, take away 2. So if I had a 5 and I took 2 away, I would have 3 left. I'm just doing it on a bigger scale with 10. So if you can do 5, take away 2, you can do 50, take away 20. All right, Mr. Marta's getting ready. We're starting with 70, take away 50. So we'll start with 70.
7 tens.
7 tens. And I want to take away 50, which is 5 tens. And I'm left with 2 tens. Also, I know, do I have the 7? I do. If I had 7 and I wanted to take 5 away this whole row, I would have 2 left. And because it's tens, I'm just going 2 tens. Now, before Mr. Marta shows you, think about this one in your head. 80, take away 40. It's like 8 tens, take away 4. So if you can do 8, take away 4. Think about the 10 frame. I have 8 tens. I take away 4 tens. What do I have left? 4 tens. Now, I hope you're at home calling out the answers going, I get it, Mrs. Marta. This is easy. I'm like, yes. All right. We're starting with the big one. Do you think Mr. Marta can hold them all? This is a test for Mr. Marta.
It's hard just to grab them
He
one at a
has big
time.
hands. He thinks he can do it. All right. So I have 100. How many tens is 100? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 tens. Take away 70, which is 7 tens. So 5, 6, 7. I have 3 tens left. 3 tens is 30. Now, for grade 2, that's all you got to be able to do. But so many of you are telling us that you want to challenge yourself. So you can go on to this. If you don't want to challenge yourself, don't leave yet because there's some on your own questions at the end. Maybe watch. You don't have to try them. Or maybe just quietly dance while you wait for us to get to the on your own questions. Now, I don't think I have enough.
We have 12 tens, Mrs. Marta.
So what happens? Just like when you run out of fingers, what happens when you don't have enough?
Gotta use your brain.
Gotta use your brain. So you can put those down, Mr. Marta. I'm starting with 140, take away 70. That's like 14 tens, take away 7 tens. So let's imagine I have 14. Can you get one of those?
The tens, yes.
I have 14 and I want to take 7
So
away.
pretend each of these red blocks is now a 10.
So I have 4, 5, 6, 7. If I take 3 of those away, how much do I have left? 7. So 14 take away 7 is 7. So 14 tens take away 7 tens is 7 tens. All right, let's imagine now we're starting with 16 tens and I want to take away 9. Do we need more?
They're behind
Mr.
you,
Marta?
Mrs. Marta. Hand me your bag.
All right.
I'll find it.
So I have 16 tens and I want to take away 9 tens. It's just like 16 take away 9, but we're thinking about tens. So now I want to take 9 away. There's a couple ways you could do it, but I'm going to show you how I would do it. I would take 9 away on this big full card.
Same way
have
I do it.
1 left. I imagine it's here, and I have 6 and 1 more, which is 7. Now the answer is not just 7 because we're talking about tens. It's 7 tens. All right.
Mr. Marta's scrambling for a certain
This
one.
is what I would call the super challenge. So let's imagine you're starting with 280 and you're taking away 30.
Finally found it.
So Mr. Marta has 280. It's like 28 tens because there's 10, 20, 28. We want to take away 3 tens. This is not so hard when you look at the cards, is it? We have 3 tens. Take it away. I still have 10, 20, 25 tens. So if I'm going to write 25 tens, I write it like this. Now, while Mr. Marty gets that ready, I'm just going to say to you, this is a challenge because you probably don't have those cards at home. So you have to imagine them in your head. The good thing is you've been imagining those cards in your head since kindergarten. Kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2.
And I know
you've got
in both your classroom and my classroom, we always have these cards displayed on our whiteboards.
So you always know what those are. So we're going to start with 32 tens. So I have 10, 20, 30, 32. And I want to take away 5 tens. Now, I'm not going to do this in a little bit here. I'm just going to take 5 away. So let's imagine I'm going to spread these out.
Sure thing.
Let's imagine I'm taking away 5 tens. So I'm going to take away this whole row. So now I have 10, 20, 25, 26, 27. So I have 27 tens. Don't forget that we're working with tens. Now, this is what your on your own work is going to look like.
And I'll just get out of the way.
So I'm going to leave that there for you. Mr. Mart is going to check if you can see all the questions, if you can see me. He's nodding his head, so it looks like you can. Everybody has to do...
Just move yourself a little bit more that way. There we go.
Okay.
Perfect.
Sorry, guys. Everybody has to do A to F. These are the grade 2 practice questions. You need to be able to do this to go on to the next step of subtraction. So everybody's doing these. Then we have the challenge. These are a little bit harder. Then we have the super challenge. These are a little bit harder than this. And then we have, are you kidding me? These are really hard. If you can do these, that's like, I don't know, that's great a zillion. It's not great a zillion. There's no such thing as a zillion. Okay, so everybody does these, and then you decide if you want to do these. And then you can meet us back on the next video where we will show you the answers. You ready? Yes. All right, you made it to the end, and Rexy and baby Rexy are here for Rexy's joke. The joke for today is, did you hear about the T-Rex that ate too many houses?
I did not hear about the T-Rex that ate too many houses.
He was homesick.
Pretty good, Rexy.
All right, see you guys later.